Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us on our Sunday Live series here for our Prenatal Alliance YouTube channel. I am here today with Yuko Igarashi. Thank you so much for coming, Yuko.
Thank
She's
you
a,
so much.
she's a Prenatal Memory Navigator and an international coordinator for the Prenatal Memory Education Association in Japan. She has launched the Prenatal Memory Global Project in 2018 with top leading researchers as Dr. Akira Ikegawa. I'm so happy that you are here with us today, Yoko. It's such a wonderful thing to have you on our team also at Prenatal Alliance. For our viewers today, I would like to ask you everything there is to know about prenatal memory. What is it? Why is that important? And how did you come to this field? To
Yeah.
this field? Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me today, and happy Mother's Day because
Yeah.
you're still enjoying. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like 9 o'clock
Totally.
here in Japan, so
Yeah.
it's almost over. But I'm sure you're enjoying your day with your loved one, and especially for the viewers today, I'm hoping that they are having a good day as well. And for the prenatal memory, the word of it, it's really the memory that is in the womb. Like the children's are actually sharing a story of what they remember being inside of the womb. But the prenatal memory research here in Japan is not only covering the time in the womb, but beyond that. I mean, that there are children who is remembering the time of their birth and also being conceived, or even before conception, like they're talking about choosing their mothers and fathers and siblings prior to arriving to the physical realm. So it's quite interesting when you start hearing about it, because it not only covers our current life, it even reveal like past life without like having a regression therapy. So it's quite interesting. It's one thing that using a hypnosis and then to reveal prenatal memories or past life memories. But what Dr. Akira Ikegawa is encountering is that the children are talking about this like it happened yesterday, or like they remember so vividly that Dr. Ikegawa was so interested to record what they are saying.
Yeah, this
And
is
that's
something that I wanted to point out because these
mhm.
are children that are talking to Dr. Ikigawa, right? Or other
Yes, yeah, other
researchers.
researchers, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So these are children. How old are these children?
Mainly, they start talking about these topics around like 2 to 3 years old. But some children actually talking about it when they're like before two, or like they're adults,
Mhm.
vividly remember their like something triggered them to remember. It's like, what is this feeling? It's like they cannot really put it into words, but they know that there's something about this vision or the sound or something that is triggering, and they're remembering a time in the womb or at the time of birth and things like that. So yeah, it's really hard to prove that scientifically, but Dr. Higawa is taking in a perspective that he's an OBGYN doctor. He has his own clinic, and when he found out about this concept of prenatal memory, that babies are conscious and remembering what is happening to them even when they were inside the womb. And he was starting to wonder, it's like, I wonder if there are any of those babies that I helped remembering, that I did something like horribly wrong. And when he was like contemplating, it's like, oh, so what do I do? And he decided to communicate with the baby in the womb. And he was like using a dowsing method. He was like taking the class with a professional, and then to get the answer like yes or no, and saying, well, would you like to wait a little bit longer, or do you want me to use the forceps or vacuum, if that's helpful. And then he actually receives the message from the baby, and there are few people like it's kind of like a baby whisperer, like they are like telepathically listen to the baby's like emotion, what's going on, and what they're saying, and interpret to Dr. Ikegawa. So his practice is probably like really different from the, conventional like OBGYN clinic or the hospitals, because he is all about standing with the baby's perspective, and knowing what they really wish for us to do. And what he's sharing with us is really amazing, because like some of the procedure that we think that it's helping those babies like after their birth, babies are complaining. Like a tubation. Like, the doctors are taught to use the tubation so that they can get the, mucus or the water out of the lung or yes. But then the baby was saying that really hurt. And then when he heard that from the children, it's like, wait a minute. If the children doesn't want this procedure, why am I doing it? So then he decided to like ask for every procedure. It's like, what would you like me to do? So it's like he's catering for the babies, like babies' wishes. And like there are many mothers, coming to his clinic, but like they're saying, well, my child is saying I want to be Dr. Ikegawa, when they're pregnant. I think, some of these stories probably, people are going to say, nah, I won't believe. But when he's doing this for 20 years, and that he was an OBGYN doctor for 40 years, and having the, standard medical procedure for 20, and then applying the prenatal memory concept, and totally changing his practice. And the outcome is just phenomenal. I mean, the most unfortunate event, such as like a miscarriage or the stillbirth, I think a lot of the mothers are really having a hard time overcoming their experiences, because in some part they feel it's their fault. But when someone like the baby whisperers or themselves like intuitively communicate with the babies, even when they are after passing, they bring such a unconditional love for their family members and all those people around, that they feel that this experience, this hardship, is teaching me to grow better as a human being. And I can say this because I myself had the same experience. I have 2 children. Maybe you can see the picture.
Yeah.
My son, he's a 28-year-old living in the United States, and my daughter is going to be 8 years old this year. And they're such a different I went through this different procedure. My son, I went through the pregnancy and birth in United States at the Naval Hospital.
Mhm.
And I used the epidural, and the doctor said that it's emergency, had to be using a vacuum and forceps, and came out, and he was so blue, and he was taken to the NICU right away. Couldn't see him for 8 hours. So that was really a devastating experience. And if I have another child, I wouldn't want to have a hospital tell me what to do. So I went as natural as possible and went to the small midwifery clinic and had a natural birth. So the birthing experience itself is different because of the United States and culture of Japan. But the fact of the matter is that the hardship that I went through with my son was actually like external. Like I was living in the United States for the first time. I immigrated, and then I got pregnant afterwards, and so everything was new, like to me. Like uh, it was almost like I felt like every single day led me through like a new portal to a new world, because like I could not predict anything. Like I could not prepare for any situation because I did not speak the language. I did not speak English at all. So I just went with the flow for, during a pregnancy, birth, and afterwards when I was raising my son. Um, it was when I was 21 years old, and I did not any better. And I'm thinking that if I had known what Prenatal Alliance is spreading the message, if I had known when I was 21, maybe these experiences could have been prevented, but I didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. But, interestingly, he was a very happy baby, and I never had like any problem raising him. Mm-hmm. But like my daughter, I had natural birth. I did not feel contraction even. It was so smooth, and my birthing experience was like so calm. But then I got pregnant when I was like 41 years old, and I assume everything will go smoothly because I had more experience and knowledge about being parents. But for my daughter, a challenge occurred internally. I thought I was well prepared before, and while I was pregnant. I mean, I did everything like healthy meals and exercise, and I did everything that I could for her. But my parenting, like after she arrived home, like it was totally opposite of how I experienced with my son. Nothing seemed to be going the way I imagined or dreamed. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like a dream of being a mother for a daughter. And like there was my wish to provide for her, like to be a great mother. I want to do this and that for my daughter. And she just like pushed me away in a point where I was like breaking. Like I was constantly having like almost like a nervous breakdown because maybe because I felt the strange vibe that I could not explain in words after the birth. But something was off for me, and something seemed really odd. And unfortunately, what I detected back then came true. And that was when my ex-husband and I did not share the same value. So with that sort of like very small, it wasn't like detectable back then, but my daughter must have picked up on that agitation, that little tiny agitation that I had, because she wasn't happy baby at all. She constantly screamed days and nights, and whenever she demands to be held, like, she's like, hold me. And then when I pick her up and then like trying to soothe her, nothing worked. And she even like pushed me away with like all her might. I had no idea how to soothe her. It tore my heart and made me so depressed. I mean, it wasn't like a maternity blue. It was like seriously pointed to be called like a mentally ill. So I had no support, but I pretended that everything was okay. And probably a lot of mothers are feeling the same way. But I was truly devastated, like when she was about 2 years old. And one day I felt that I was so empty and such a meaningless person. And question came to my mind, like, why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? Was I here to endure this excruciating pain? And I wish to have a daughter, and now I have her. But the result is this. I mean, it's just like breaking me from inside out. But then, like, something snapped inside of me and firmly said, no. That energy that I felt. And from then on, I decided to truly like follow my heart. What do I want to achieve for my life? And I decided to aim high. I wanted I wanted to make a better world for children, and that's what I had in my mind since like when I was a child. I don't know why, but I felt that way. And because as a child, I felt like adults aren't taking care of us or our society. And if no one is doing it, I thought I need to step up. So I combined that, my strong drive with the conclusion of my consciousness research at the college. Education is the key to creating a better world. And I was thinking, maybe my daughter's fussiness and crazy behavior could have been prevented if I knew all about, prenatal alliance and
I was going to ask you on the time of your second daughter, did you already knew about the concept of prenatal memory?
No,
not at all. Yeah, well, so that came actually, after the experience you had.
Right, exactly. I only knew that the babies are conscious from a time in the womb. Like, that they should be respected as a human being.
And that they are responsive, that, you can interact. Yeah.
Right. So I knew about that. But what I missed back then was the baby's perspective. I did not know about that. And the concept of prenatal memory and the perspective that Dr. Akira Ikegawa was sharing, really teaching us about these babies' perspectives and what they really saying from the time in the womb.
And also from what you were saying was that the prenatal memories and having that perspective of what the baby is sensing also helped to heal the mother, or to transform the perspective of the mother of her pregnancy or of the time she lived during pregnancy. So there's a
Yeah.
healing into it, into what you and Dr. Ikegawa works help the mother not only to understand, to comprehend what is going on, but also when you were talking about miscarriage, and it is an important topic also,
Yeah.
there is a healing factor that
Exactly.
helps the mother to move through the experience.
Exactly. And I believe every single person has a different personal backgrounds. And for my case, I was having such a hard time taking care of my daughter. And, I thought she was like possessed by evil spirit or something because she
It
wasn't
was so hard.
sleeping.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and I feel like I was living dead. Like she just like will be crying all the time. But then when she was already like 2 years old, 3 years old, this concept made me realize that my daughter wasn't a crazy baby. She used all of her energy, willpower, and lung capacity to tell me non-verbally that I was walking on the wrong path. It's like, she never expected me to become a good mother. It's like she knew who I was. She knew what I am capable of doing.
She didn't give you what you wanted. She gave it what you needed.
Exactly. So she pushed me to the point of, breaking me down, but she forced me to correct my path. Let me understand.
Yeah, babies are masters.
What is the purpose of my life? So that is like the seed of my Prenatal Memory Global Project, because if it impacted me so much, from being a good mother to a woman who believed she could change the world.
A much bigger and wider vision, which I think babies bring us, that unconditional love. You talked about, she did this, you used her lungs, she did the resources she had, but also this amazing unconditional love that babies have for us. And one of the prenatal memories that we usually know about on the research of Dr. Ikegawa is that they want to come here to help moms.
Exactly.
They really want to help moms.
Well, that's what they most of the children are saying, like they want to help mother, and that was happening about 20 years ago for a while. But now they're coming to Earth and save the Earth. It's like, if we are not doing anything, that the Earth is going to break. That's what the children are saying. I mean, for about 20 years, the kids are changing. And I think that is really the message that we need to receive. And that's the reason why I started the Prenatal Memory Global Project, because this concept hasn't been translated in English. So I decided to spread this concept and to, let baby's perspective be known, because, what truly amazed me was that the more I got involved with this project, the more my daughter increasingly became like a calm, reasonable, and a happy child. It's like, how much more do I need to have a proof?
It always comes from us to them. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Japanese society cultivate this concept like of soul, like existing a soul or reincarnation, more like adapt easily. So maybe that's a part of the reason why there are many people like there are research showing the numbers of pregnant women, about 70% of them knowing the concept of prenatal memory. I mean, whether they believed or not.
I
mean, they just know the consciousness of baby. And I think that is a start. That's a good start. And that's why Dr. Ikegawa is trying to spread this awareness throughout the world. And I'm so happy to be able to help out, and that I am actually, becoming a member of this Prenatal Alliance so that I can actually disseminate this information
Yeah, and
to
it's
as many
truly an
people as
honor for
possible.
us to have your work with us, because we share the same ideas, the same concepts, and we are eager to let people know not only about the perspective of the mother during pregnancy, the perspective of the father, but
Mhm.
especially to respect that babies are sentient beings, that they have their conscience and they have their own perspective about pregnancy. And it's amazing to read about Dr. Ikegawa's research. And also, you have so many videos on your YouTube channel. And we are going to put this on our YouTube, on our description of the videos for your links,
Thank you.
because it's so important that everybody understands, not only for themselves, but to share with others. It's
Exactly.
not about concepts. These are children talking, and and hundreds of children talking about it. It's not
Mhm.
just one or two. This
Exactly.
exists. It's not going to go down the hill. It needs to be spread throughout the world. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing the experience that you had, because I think a lot of moms. I'm a mother of three. I also understood that from a very very early beginning, that as soon as I had children, there was going to be a transformation in my life, because they bring that they have this impulse to drive us further,
Yeah,
even
exactly.
for women that already think that they know a lot. They go to our shadows and they put light on it, so
Yeah.
we can overcome our challenges, and
Yeah.
sometimes challenges that we thought that were long gone, now there
Mhm.
they are, and they help us to overcome our own things. But also, not only us, relationships and
Mhm.
family relationships, because
Mhm.
babies also bring us knowledge from our own pregnancy, right? When we leave our pregnancy, we are also leaving the time we were babies in our mother's womb, and from that past generation memories that are coming forth. So yeah,
Mhm.
I understood that when in your Prenatal Memory Global Project, there was a lot of things already in English, which was wonderful. I hope that us
Thank
in
you.
at Prenatal Alliance, we still have much more languages to translate and to move
That's right.
forward with the concept. So tell us, um, what are your future perspectives? What would are you going to have? Congress. What are you doing on your project?
Well, it's a, amazing movement right now happening here in Japan is that I am a part of subcommittee. It's trying to change the education in Japan. Like, I don't know how I got involved to it, but there there are congressmen and actually like leading expert in the education field, and like lawmakers are all working on uh, creating that education should be the core value for our country in Japan, and that um, nobody actually brought the perspective of um, education, or like the it should start from the time of conception. Well, hopefully it goes beyond that,
Beyond.
to preconception, but um at least at the conception and on. So nobody was actually mentioning that's like, so I was like, okay, I have a suggestion. I think your education should start from the time in the womb, and that we are creating this this huge compiled of requests from these six subcommittees to the Congress. And this month, I think the end of this month, there'll be a final version will be created. And then if that it goes through the diet, the Congress, that it will go to the next phase in September to actually create this into reality. I mean, this is really going to be the core of education reform that starting in Japan. And
that's great, and that should be an example for other countries to follow also.
Yeah, and I've not really, I'm still new to this prenatal science, so I don't really know much about it, but like there's a movement in England, first 1,001 days, I think,
Yeah.
that they're supporting as a country, and they're moving forward with it, but I don't really know what is going on. And I'm like hoping to hear if there's any programs or the movement or any like any suggestion like to create this into like really changing the law or creating the projects or or any like suggestion, because I'm still new to it, and I'm not really good at like politics.
Yeah, but it's wonderful that the idea of education starting in the womb, we know that it starts earlier than that, but if we already start achieving step by step this, and at the level of national education, it's great. And I think our listeners should be all joyful, because when it starts and when it is a good experience in one country, usually the natural thing to happen is others start replicating what is happening.
Yeah, exactly. And then their vision is actually to have a good model in Japan and trying to export that idea to other country. So if that really goes well, like well, Japan is already starting education from the womb, as matter of fact, this is just the way we are. That will be a great start, I think.
Yeah, it will be. And I think that as we say on prenatal education, we don't need many generations to change the world. One can be enough for us to make big changes in a world we want to create. Thank you so much, Yuko. It was so great to have you. Thank you for sharing your personal experience, for letting us know what prenatal memories are and how they affect the baby, affect the mother, affect the family, and how they can drive us to move forward and make this a better world.
I mean, I feel like this is so I'm hoping that it's going to be like inspiring people watching this, and that they can become the change for their life, and also for the children's future. So
thank you so much. It was wonderful to be with you.
And hopefully we'll have more of this in the future. So thank you, Susanna.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.